Hello, welcome back. This is another. This was a real crazy one. I made some very interesting decisions. I think I assigned my fights here quite poorly. So you'll see here, I've got Mortal Abomination, which is interesting. I'm taking on Ihulk on Masochism over time. I see an Ihulk, I tend to think, that's fine, Fury can take it. Now, of course, the problem with Masochism over time is that it's actually much more potent than the old Masochism node. The healing you get overall from that is much greater. And I'm thinking, he'll be fine. I go in here. I am big boosted. Notice no suicides. This war in particular, our opponents actually made a diversity slip up, so we knew we would never lose on time. So a lot of time you think, well, suicides, they speed up fights, but they're not necessarily vital. So for that reason, I'm not using suicides for this war. And oh boy, is that a mistake! So you can kind of see already, my big bleeds are doing a bit of damage, but unfortunately, that regen is strong. Fury spams debuffs from his sort of much smaller bleeds, and you'll see here, oh dear, he is regenning everything. And I see this. I'm obviously completely aware of this, and I'm sort of thinking, not quite sure what to do here. So I'm just going to carry on for a bit. Let's see if I can potentially make some gains. Let's see if I can try and get him down. The thing about Ihulk is that he's immune to regen modification, so the Despair Mastery is not even helping here, because all these debuffs that are landing aren't actually doing anything. Like here I get a couple of crits and I'm thinking, oh okay, maybe, but of course that regen is super duper strong. One thing that does cross my mind, and I think about, is, well, Fury does have this other playstyle where you can parry heavy, right? You parry heavy and build the passive bleeds, which, and I have to say, my knowledge of this is a bit vague. In fact, it's so vague I don't even know now. I should have probably checked before talking. I think it increases the duration or potency of his other bleeds, or something like that. I might look this up live as I record, trust me, I've got some time. If the opponent gets 8 stacks of bleed, their bleeds are removed and replaced with a passive internal bleed, which deals quite a lot of damage. All the opponents, while this is active, all the bleeds have extended duration per tactical charge. But I'm not building tactical charges in this match, so although the passive bleed would be good, and I probably should be building it up here, I don't quite manage it. There I almost do. It's not working. And at this point, I can see I am making some progress, but we're coming up to halfway, and here I just think, we need to make some adjustments. So the only way I can see of coming out of this fight alive, well, winning this fight and not timing out, is by just going straight into second phase, sitting here and taking a beating. I get a little bit lucky that he doesn't sort of keep hitting me and like stun me, for example, and then throw a special in my second life. Luckily he hits me sort of just enough, and you'll see there, look at that, that Fury buff is doing everything we need. We're now out damaging the regen from both basic hits and normal bleeds, and of course with Ihulk I've hit him way too much now that he's got all this gamma, so he is going to go into his second life and his immortality phase, so I have to get through that as well. But here of course I'm also on edge, because if I miss one parry I'm just dead, because we're at 29%, and of course no second life. Here I know that if I hit him I eat away his gamma, so I do that for a bit and then I back off. There I almost mistime it, and of course his unblockable would have killed me. And then I think, I'm not quite sure what happened there, I think my Assassin Mastery's turned off his regen, because he always regens a little bit, he's guaranteed to regen a little bit. And he just didn't. Like, it can't be Despair, because Despair doesn't work against him. So yeah, I think I got lucky there, that as soon as his immortality ended, Assassin's turned off his regen, but not sure. And we made it out alive, which is nice. Now, of course, the reason I'm on this side at all is because I'm taking this Man-Thing, because Quake isn't banned, and Man-Thing on 20 does still kill us sometimes. It's a placement that's been causing a lot of problems for a long time, even with the last global and this one. But here I'm just gonna use Quake. Now, the thing, of course, though, is that this is a Masochism node, but it's not Masochism over time like the previous fight. It's just Masochism. Quake can outdamage Masochism, but she can also just bypass it if the concussion from the heavy is on while when the stun lands from your kind of big, from the destination of your aftershock charges. So I see there, my aftershock wasn't quite on him and the stun didn't land. But what you'll see, I am doing a parry heavy style here with the white magneto pre-fight, just because it means he's I'm holding heavy for that much longer, which means it's just that much more likely that the big stun and concussion will land when he's already stunned, and also I'm charging heavy. I hope that kind of makes sense. Basically, if you play this fight like a normal Quake fight, depending on his AI, there's a chance he just shrugs off from masochism the stun and regens. But if you do this, you're reducing the chance of that. And I'm perfectly comfortable doing parry Quake style or doing the normal style. And this fight's relatively quick. Now, of course, it's taken about a minute and a half, and he's down once this last cycle finishes. So I'm feeling pretty confident. It's pretty good. And now we're heading up into section 2 to do a couple more fights. Yes? No? Can't remember. Here you can see up there's a Mojo, who's my next target. And this is where Immortal Abomination comes into things. That was the second Mojo they placed, which is why we knew we had a small diversity advantage. So someone else, can't remember who, very kind of them, moved up. Might have been Tatted. And now I'm going straight to this Mojo. I'm not super familiar with Immortal Abomination. I ranked him up quite recently, mostly for Battlegrounds, if I'm honest. I've still got my second invulnerability boost going, so that's... Oh, but I don't care, because I'm switching it up to the advanced power boost, because I know that what you want to do is get to SB2, and then spam SB1s. Again, I thought about, I asked, someone who has a rank 4 eyebomb, I asked him kind of suicides, yes or no, and he said, well, because you're spamming SB1, suicides, obviously, well, there's a downside to them, but obviously he benefits from suicides too. And because I already knew that I didn't need them for this war, I decided to keep them off. The one thing I don't do a great job of here, keeping track of, is the block charges. We're on 4, I will take some blockable hits later. Landed the SP2, and now I know that I can just let him build into the acid burn. So I know I need to stay close, hit into his block if necessary. Here I do back off because I think I want him to dump that SP2. There he's unblockable, but there you see the evade, the Nick Fury and Quake synergy helps me out. Unfortunately we've lost acid burn here, so at this point I think, no, he's almost dead, whatever. I just go back to throwing SP1s, building poisons that way. And getting petrifies on him too, because I know that he does gain power still. These global attackers shut down Mojo's damage potential, but he is still gaining power from completing his prompts, so I'm thinking petrifies are a good idea. And oh, another evade there, because I guess I must have missed the dex. And the fight's down in just over a minute. I don't think I necessarily played it perfectly or particularly well, but it did the job. Now, just a little bit later, I'm taking path 1 in section 2. This is all before I go to bed. Now you'll see here I'm healing up Nick Fury, which is kind of annoying because those potions are obviously only have very limited value, but we want to take every precaution. I do decide to just go ahead and stick with the plan, because my plan was to take this negative with Fury, and thinking, well, I could do Quake or I could do Multiple Abomination. I never tried to Quake him, and as far as I know, it's fine. But I just felt actually more comfortable sticking to the plan. And what am I doing here? Oh yeah, ahead of the next fight, I'm chucking on Science Boost. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so I'm thinking here that he should just completely melt, because I'm obviously my second life. I've got the Big Fury. The bleed should just destroy him. Why not put on a health boost? I think I must have not noticed that it'd fallen off. What do I put one on now? I considered buying one of those, but I think no, it's fine. I'll use one of these. I do put on a health boost. So yeah, Mr. Negative on this. I mean, this is basically, if you dash back a lot, he regens, so don't do that. But it's mostly a nothing node. And again, because I'm thinking I can't take any risks, I'm using another invulnerability boost. I think that's 3 now on 4 fights, which is amazing. And I think the thing about Mr. Negative is that you want to really not be parrying him, because that's when he gains the white energy, which will convert into dark energy and will give you the delirium stuff. But I'm thinking, I don't really care. I'm just going to block the specials as and when he throws them, like there, and I'm just going to parry and hit him, and he should die. Here I go SB1 just to clear the put the disorient on, which clears it. Here he's down. So that wasn't really a hard fight, but it was in general a bit sketchy, just because I've not got much life to play with. What's next? Oh yeah, next it's Mordo. And this is just begging for an immortal abomination. Immortal abomination. Because of course he's a global attacker, so he's got no buffs, no buffet, and therefore you turn up. There's no, you know, this node makes him go unblockable if he heals, and there's no healing going on, so there's no unblockable. So it's just Mordo basically. Now of course I can't parry reliably. Well, I can't parry basically at all because I'm, you know, got no way around that. No white Magneto, and wouldn't work anyway. So my plan here is just to play this the sort of slightly difficult way, but I'm perfectly happy playing Mordo. There, I'm expecting him to back off, but he throws a heavy, which is pretty nice. He's still going. Normally his AI is, you know, obviously really passive during the power game phase, but not today. That's fine. He throws his SP3. No, he doesn't. He throws his SP2. I slow down my combo beautifully just to make sure I hit him when the power game comes back. Still looking to get to SP2 here. I think here I'm just trying to bait out SP1. He doesn't throw it, and now we have to do the dance where we run back to the back of the stage. I decide not to throw a heavy, I let him finish, and here the SP2 does the acid burn, or at least should do, but it appears not to. Get into it. Oh yeah, there I do the heavy to go to the power gain. Here we have acid burn, and the fight's over. So I don't know if I'm using the Immortal Abomination right, but it seems to be doing, you know, both those fights going fine. And now we come to the real humdinger. This, I originally signed a Black Widow Clairvoyant, but the player didn't want to do it. And I'm like, oh, that's fine, I can just Quake it. And yeah, this is a bit mad. This is when Quake fighting goes wrong. You'll see I haven't even healed up. I'm not quite sure why. I think I just forgot that I kind of needed to. Accidental parry there again, because I'm not trying to do parry heavy here. There's no need. This is of course just so I'm, you know, filling everyone in. This is buffet. And there I released my heavy, which is annoying. Now the thing with Quake on buffet is that you can trigger decks, and you can also lose decks when concussion is up, and they won't trigger buffet. If, however, concussion is not up, and you either hit them with you throw a heavy attack, well, I guess that's it really. If concussion is not up, that will trigger buffet. Also notice earlier while I was talking, he has a double medium attack, and most of the time it's fine, but sometimes the second hit of the double medium does clip me. So I've lost one of my invulnerability charges, and at that point I'm thinking, oh well, that could happen sometimes, but probably not the end of the world. Here we're doing quite well. I'm I'm happy to adapt to when he throws a heavy. He's down to 50%. It's been about a minute. I'm feeling pretty confident. I've only lost one invulnerability charge. He's built a little bit of power, but you know, it's not sort of too bad. Down to 40%. I don't quite remember when things go sour. It ain't far. There, he throws a heavy for some reason, and I do the, you know, when I release my heavy, unfortunately I hit him, which means he heals, which is not brilliant, and it brings him up to not far off an SP1. I'm thinking here, whatever, it doesn't really matter, it'll take a bit longer, but I can do what I just did. But the crucial thing is that his power is a bit higher. And I think, well, looking good so far. As you'll see, this is a Quake fight that's lasting 2 minutes, which is really you know, any fight that's lasting this long in War is a bit tenuous. There I keep getting clipped by that double heavy. I've lost my invulnerability charges, but I'm thinking he's almost dead, you know, I can just, you know, make 2, maybe 3 more Quake cycles. Now I released my heavy early, smacks me, and now he's at SP1. And now I'm thinking, oh dear, we have to do something about this. In the corner, I know I can't do normal Quake stuff because obviously he'll just throw the heavy. I'm not really sure what to do. I chuck another heavy. I healed him twice from buffet. I'm in the corner. I chuck another heavy because again I'm just not quite sure what to do. Accidental intercept. He throws the SP2. Fully evade against the wall. Heal him again. And suddenly this rank 4 surf, of course he is rank 4, obviously. He's back up to, you know, 78% health, and we've got 2 minutes left on the clock. And at this point, I'm thinking, geez, if I do one more slip, if I let him heal, he is going to time out. I'm not going to have enough time to finish. It's also frustrating there that the animation of the sun, I can't see the time. But in a sense it doesn't matter. I know what I have to do, I just have to focus on my quaking. I normally count, I think I've said this before. I normally go, I try and watch his animations, because I think I know them reasonably well. 2, 3, 4, 5, and I do the sort of the final thing. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Now there, you also got to keep an eye on the timer, because you don't want to be doing accidental heavy release. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And I do an extra evade there. I guess I got kind of nervous. But normally I'm quick enough not to do that extra evade when he only does a 3-hit combo. There he slaps me again. I'm not too worried about that though, because I know he's not hitting very hard and his power is quite low. So even if he does keep clipping me with the SP with the double medium, I'll be fine. Like, he is there, but again, I'm not too bothered. We're bringing him down. We've got about a minute left, and yeah, we'll get hit again. But we're almost in the clear now. You know, don't throw your heavy here because you'd heal him. That'd be like the worst thing I could do here. Just keep going, keep focusing. Parry at the end, and we finish him with 42 seconds left. Jeez, you'll see the I got hit a bunch, but we did it. And that's that. That's the last fight I ended up taking this war. I was due to quake that Terax you can see on the right there, but I was feeling so shaken after that that I didn't, and we got Kingpin to take it, and Kingpin destroyed it. So yeah, probably a better matchup anyway, to be honest. So that's that. That was this war. Kind of nuts that I didn't die in that iHog fight and that Surfer fight, but that's that. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, everyone. Ta-ta.